Chapter 98. Taking advantage of the chaos to blend in. The people were abuzz. The grey-clothed old man was actually the old city lord of Fendu. No wonder he was so powerful. The crowd still remembered that back then, a great pride of the great town cultivation realm had risen strongly, sweeping the young generation at that time without a match. But unfortunately, in the end, during the Heaven's Path sect's disciple acceptance ceremony, he was defeated by a supreme figure from a neighboring country, so much so that he returned in disgrace. And since then he has been living in seclusion in Fendu, not asking about the world's affairs. This was an invincible character, even without worshipping the Heavenly Tao sect. By virtue of his own painstaking cultivation, he still reached this powerful today, only half a step away from the outbreathing stage. Kang Tion was shocked in his heart. It seems that this time the corpse-catching sect will not be able to take out their real skills. With the Fendu Old City Lord and the Genin King to world-class powerhouses participating in the battle, the three Bone Dragons also have nothing to fear. Fendu Old City Lord and Genin King are very powerful. They one person single-handedly fight a Bone Dragon, completely dominate the upper hand. Watching the crowd is very exciting. The other Bone Dragon was being attacked by dozens of Yuanying stage powerhouses. Although it was difficult to defeat it for a while, it was definitely possible to stall it. The situation in the field had become very clear by now. When the Genin King and Fendu Old City Lord returned victorious, the other Bone Dragon would naturally be destroyed without a doubt. And if the corpse-catching sect didn't have any other cards, then this battle could be over. Old man, aren't you not asking about the world? How come you're willing to come out? King Genin shouted at the grey-clothed old man as he battled the Bone Dragon. The Bone Dragon he was facing was not a match for him at all. He was beaten without any power to fight back, and defeat was only a matter of time. On the other side, the old city lord of Fendu similarly revealed his worldly might. His strength was incomparably terrifying, completely overpowering the Bone Dragon he was facing. The Heavenly Tao sect promised me that as long as I'm willing to make a move this time, I'll be able to join the sect as an inner disciple, Old City Lord Fengdu said. The crowd was suddenly enlightened. No wonder this unquestioning supreme powerhouse appeared. It was dare say that the Heavenly Tao sect had promised a favor. They knew that the Old City Lord had always wanted to worship the Heavenly Tao sect, and this time they naturally would not let go of this opportunity. Ha ha, old man, you're a big old man, and you're still going in to compete with the young people. Aren't you afraid of your old bones falling apart? Genin King laughed out loud at his words. HMPH, my old man's qualifications are no worse than yours. As long as I'm given the chance, I'll definitely be able to break through the out-of-body stage and become a true disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect. Old City Lord Fendu hummed. The crowd was shocked. The Old City Lord's ambition was not small. He dared to aspire to be a true disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect. One must know that the huge Heavenly Tao sect only had 1,000 true disciples. Each one of them had a cultivation level above the out-of-body stage. No matter which one walked out, they were all peerless powerhouses that shook the party. However, because of this, one to become a true disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect is incomparably difficult, which not only requires an unparalleled qualification, but also requires an invincible faith, as well as opportunity. Luck are indispensable. It could be said that amongst the millions of inner disciples of the Heavenly Tao sect, only one true disciple would be born every 100 years, and the probability of becoming a true disciple was too small. However, once you become a true disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect, your status will be like that of an elder of the Heavenly Tao sect, and you will receive the focus of the Heavenly Tao sect's cultivation, and in the future, whether it's to compete for the position of the Heavenly Tao sect leader or to impact the nebulous immortal position, you will have a great deal of potential. True disciple, this dream is good, but when you arrive within the Heavenly Tao sect, you will know that reality is so cruel. The Genin king said with some emotion as he smiled. He thought of some tragic memories. Back then he was also as confident as the Fendu old city lord, thinking that one day he would become a true transmission disciple. But the cruel reality told him that it was just too tough. Old city lord Fengdu glanced at Zenin king with some sympathy and said, "You're just unlucky. Otherwise you might not have no chance. Don't worry, when I become a true transmission disciple, I'll give you a chance as well." The crowd was surprised at what they heard. Listening to their conversation, it seemed that there was some secret involved. And this secret was obviously about Genin king. The Genin king was silent at his words. And then he concentrated on the enemy, seemingly imagining the bone dragon as an enemy in his mind, and launched a blistering attack. Seeing this, old city lord Fengdu also stopped speaking, and the two of them concentrated on the enemy. On the ground, Kang Chon looked at Lei Yun suspiciously. He was also a little curious. Liu Suifeng and Huo Xiangrong also both looked towards Lei Yun curiously. They also knew very little about such a legendary powerhouse like the Genin king. Seeing the three of them looking over, Lei Yun bit his lip, a look of indignation appearing in his eyes as he said, "My father's qualifications aren't that bad. Back then, he definitely had the chance to break through the outbreeding stage and become a true disciple of the Heavenly Tao sect." Kang Chon nodded. The Genin king was able to fight all over the Great Tang back then. His talent was naturally superb. He had later joined the Heavenly Tao sect and cultivated the Heavenly Tao sect's superior Gong methods. Breaking through the out-of-body stage should not be a problem at all. So how could he have failed to impact the out-of-body stage and also be expelled from the Heavenly Tao sect? This was something they were all very curious about. Lei Yun continued, "It is only because my father offended a true disciple within the Heavenly Tao sect and was backstabbed by him, falling into a dark disease. That is why he failed in impacting the out-of-body stage. And all the way up to this day, that dark disease is still present and cannot be lifted. This time I must worship the Heavenly Tao sect. I will avenge my father, and I will find out a way to solve my father's dark disease." Lei Yun's eyes were permeated with a deep killing intent, hating that true disciple who had assassinated that father. "I believe you will succeed." Kang Chon patted his shoulder and comforted him. The Genin king was undoubtedly very regretful that just because of one of the true disciples that he had offended, he had been tricked by the other party to the point that he was unable to break through to the out-of-body stage to this day. Liu Suifeng and Huo Xiangrong both comforted Lei Yun as well, and this strong man couldn't help but burst into tears as he spoke of his father's past, his heart filled with resentment. "I will definitely succeed," Lei Yun said firmly, his eyes filled with invincible conviction. This conviction moved Kang Chon. When he fought with Lei Yun, he was very surprised at the other party's invincible conviction. Now that he thought about it, it must be because of his father. With such a deep hatred, it was no wonder that Lei Yun was so strong and unyielding. Liu Suifeng and Huo Xiangrong were in awe. As the crowd sighed at the Genin king's regret, the elder of the corpse-catching sect in the square finally changed his face. The three bone dragons had met a strong foe, and the corpse-catching sect had once again fallen into a disadvantageous position, which gradually made him realize that it was not good. The crowd watching the battle outside the field was very excited by now. This time the great battle between the Heavenly Tao sect and the corpse-catching sect was very intense. The battle situation suffered several changes and erupted into climax after climax, making them feel that it was worthwhile. The Genin king is going to win. Suddenly, Liu Suifeng beside Kang Chon out a cry of alarm. Kang Chon gazed at him, and it turned out that the Genin king had displayed great power, piercing through the bone dragon's skull with a single shot. And the strong force caused half of the bone dragon's skull to explode, and two green ghostly flames flew out from it. "What is that thing?" The crowd was curious. The light in Kang Chon's eyes flashed, and he hurriedly performed the heaven-escaping hand. And a huge silver palm appeared in the sky, grasping the two greenish ghost flames in his hands. King Zhenan glanced at Kang Chon in surprise, and without saying anything more, he continued to go and assist Old City Lord Fendu in his battle against the other bone dragon. Lei Yun, Liu Suifeng, and the others hurriedly gathered around to watch. Kang Chon retracted his heaven-escaping hand and discovered that it was two green dragon beads, which emanated a powerful aura. "It's dragon beads," Lei Yun said in amazement. "Rumor has it that refining the dragon beads can give you great power. Brother Kang Chon, you will bless it." Liu Suifeng was filled with envy. On the side, Wuxia Rong also curiously surveyed the two dragon beads. The bone dragon was killed by the Zhenan king. These two dragon beads should go to Lei Yun. Kang Chon sniffed but shook his head and handed the two dragon beads in his hand to Lei Yun. The crowd was dumbfounded. They didn't expect Kang Chon to be so generous that he didn't have the slightest temptation towards the dragon beads. Lei Yun was also stunned. He froze for a moment with the dragon beads. Then he threw them to Kang Chon and said, "This is what you have obtained. I can't take it." Kang Chon sniffed and continued to push back. Lei Yun also refused to accept it. The two of them went back and forth, making half a day who did not want it. Looking at the side of Liu Suifeng and Hua Weirong were anxious. In the end, all flowers want a wrong proposed by Kang Chon and Lei Yun equal share to people of one. This time, both Kang Chon and Lei Yun had no opinion. Putting away the dragon pearl, Kang Chon continued to survey the battlefield at this time. Under the combined efforts of the Zhenan king and the Fendu Old City Lord, the other bone dragon was quickly defeated, and two more dragon pearls were exploded. Kang Chon was instantly ready to perform the heaven-tackling hand, trying to seize the dragon beads from under the seniors. After all, the two seniors would definitely not bother with a small person like him. However, this time Kang Chon didn't get his way. The Old City Lord of Fendu grabbed the two dragon beads at the first time. Kang Chon's heaven-tackling hand came back empty-handed, making him depressed. He didn't think that the old seniors would disregard their cheek and grab something with him. A little waif. "Ha, little fellow. This thing old man still has use for. This time Count the old man owes you a personal favor." Old City Lord Fengdu was a senior after all. Seeing the depressed Kang Chon, he said with a big smile. The crowd couldn't help but clamor to be able to make the Fendu Old City Lord owe a favor. Kang Chon had earned a lot this time. At least, in this great Tang cultivation world, I'm afraid that no one would dare to mess with Kang Chon. Kang Chon sniffed and also said in a loud voice, "Senior is joking. It's the kid who is rude." He didn't dare to accept the favor from the Old City Lord of Fengdu. The other party was being polite. If he really took it, he would be looking for death. However, when he said that, Old City Lord Fengdu was bound to be happy, and the two sides would be considered to have a good karma. The Fendu Old City Lord smiled at his words, and then went to kill the last bone dragon together with the Zhenan king. But just at this moment, an angry voice came from the bottom of Fengdu Valley. Unbridled. A sound like thunder exploded from the bottom of the Fendu Valley, and then a powerful will rose up to the sky, rushing vastly, and the entire heaven and earth trembled. Under the pressure of this powerful will, those flying Yuanying stage powerhouses in the sky all turned pale, and one by one, like kites with broken strings, fell down, smashing and spitting blood. Fendu Old City Lord and Zhenan King were also shaken out by this powerful will, and the two of them towards the bottom of Fengdu Valley in astonishment, their faces incomparably grave. The gazes of the crowd then looked. In the darkness of the valley floor, a black figure came striding in, and a monstrous aura flowed out from this black figure. The black figure stepped out of the darkness, revealing a middle-aged man dressed in black. His icy gaze looked towards the giant ship in the sky, and he coldly said, "True disciple of the heavenly Tao sect, still not coming down." The crowd immediately looked at the giant ship, the sky, in shock at the words. There was a true disciple of the heavenly Tao sect hidden inside there. This was a truly great person. As you wish, a condescending voice came out from within the giant ship. Immediately, amidst the gazes of the crowd, a magnificent figure walked out of the giant ship and stood proudly in the void. As soon as this person appeared, the crowd immediately felt their vision blur, and the blazing lights made it impossible for them to open their eyes. In the sky, the true disciple of the heavenly Tao sect stood proudly in the void, his hands behind his back, and two incomparably bright rays of light shot out from his lofty eyes, as if they were two icy blades, ruthlessly sweeping them towards the black-clothed middle-aged man who had stepped out of the Fendu Ghost Valley below.